How should you choose what niche or niches to work in your hypnotherapy practice? I'm Jonathan Butler from Help for Hypnotherapists, and I'm going to take you through the 4 questions you need to ask yourself and answer before you make this really important decision. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, are you passionate about the subject area? Because if you're not passionate, it's going to show up. If you're not passionate about the area, you're not going to enjoy learning about it. You're not going to enjoy working with it every day. And what's more, when you're on a phone to a client, when they're exploring whether they want to work with you, if you're not passionate about the area, they're going to sense it. So you need to be passionate. That is really, really important, because if you're going niche, you're going to be working in this every day, and you're going to be working with people in this field every day. So be passionate. It's the start of everything. The second thing you really need to think about is, what's your lived experience in this area? Because stories matter. Stories really do matter. They help your clients relate to you. And if they know that you've been on a similar journey, or you've worked with people on a similar journey to what they're on, that's going to make them feel much more comfortable, trust more in you, and it's going to raise your perceived value, raise their sense of confidence in you, raise their value, and raise the bar of what they're prepared to pay for your support, for your services. So your lived experience is really, really important. And that can either be your own experience, could be maybe with family, friends, with people close to you, or it could be you just happen to have worked in that area for a while, but you need to be passionate about it, and you need to have some lived experiences. All that will make you more successful, make you feel better, make your clients really relate to you. So that's the important emotional side of it. But of course, there's a hard logic side to this as well. And I see lots of therapists making a lot of mistakes here, because quite often people are thinking emotionally, wanting to work in a field that they care about, that they're passionate about, but not actually looking at the raw, hard data, which is, can you make a good living from this? Can you succeed in this field? So the 2 key things you need to look at in this area are, first of all, is the niche or the niches that you're interested in, is it viable? Is that a viable marketplace? Is that niche big enough? Are there enough people looking for help within that niche? Because if you're too micro niched, if there is not sufficient demand, then you're not going to be able to build a business, no matter how good you are, no matter how good your marketing is. So how can you find out about that? Well, this is where the analytics, where the tech, where the data comes in. We spend a lot of time looking for this in Boost Academy and Help for Hypnotherapists, understanding what the data is telling us. And there are some tools like Google Analytics that can help you with this, but there are also some sites you can go to. So I'm going to recommend to you 2 great websites. I have no vested interest in these, but 2 great things that you might find really, really helpful. So first of all, to know whether your niche is popular, whether a lot of people are searching for help with this, you can go to Answer the Public. Answer the Public is a website in which it will tell you, in various different formats, it will tell you what people are searching for. So it can tell you with hypnotherapy what people are searching for, what people are interested in. So that's a really useful resource. Answerthepublic.com. The second thing, which gets even more precise and probably even more useful, is the hypnotherapy directory. And I think there are other directories as well. But when you go into hypnotherapy directory, it tells you, it has a little table, it has data on there which says, what are people searching for? What are the topics that people are most interested in? So you can see actually what kind of demands are there. So by looking at Google, by looking at sites like these that I've mentioned, you can actually get a pretty good feel for, is there a big enough demand out there for the niche that you want to focus on? So you need to know if there is enough demand, but then of course you need to understand about your competitive position and the supply. So this is the 4th point, which is really about, it's no good just having a big niche if you can't be competitive in that niche. So take, for example, anxiety. Anxiety is a big topic. Lots of people are looking for help with anxiety, but conversely, there are lots of hypnotherapists specializing in that area. In fact, not even specializing, because most hypnotherapists can deal with anxiety. It's a pretty core thing to deal with. It's not really a niche. It's very mainstream. So if you want to specialize on anxiety and you want to get in there, you need to know, can you be competitive in there, particularly as a new person? Can you get enough work? And a great way for you to go and look at this, again, is by using Google. So with Google Analytics, if you've got a Google Ads account, or if you've got somebody who does that, you can quite easily find out what is your cost per click. So this is something you need to understand. What's your cost per click? Now, this is primarily designed for advertising. It basically is a metric which tells you, what do Google believe it will cost you to get one click that gives you a lead. So a click for somebody to go to your website, for example. Okay, and that figure is really, really important, because I'm not suggesting you use this for advertising. That's a whole different conversation. But that cost per click against different niches will actually tell you how competitive that is. So you need to be looking at this on one hand with a, how big is this niche? Is there a lot of demand? And on the other side is, how competitive it, what's my cost to really get myself found on Google to be seen there? So you're getting, from those two things together, you know whether you've got a viable niche. You've got the data that you need to tell you whether it works. And if it doesn't work, then you maybe need to think about a different niche, or maybe micro niching that down a little bit more to be something more specific that ideally aligns with your passion and your lived experience, so you can be competitive in that space. So those are 4 key things you need to be asking yourself. But it's also really, really important for you to think about, are you going to be happy? Are you going to enjoy doing what you're doing, working in these niches? And that's why I'd always say you need to be passionate about it and know there's an economic case. It's no good being passionate if there's not a business there to be had. But similarly, you don't want to go into something just because it feels like that is where there is the most opportunity. Because you're going to be working in this every day. You're going to be working with a particular kind of client depending upon your niche. So you need to be comfortable and happy working in that space every day. And again, you need to understand some of the particular challenges about the niche that you might work in. And you probably already understand this, but you need to think about what that means from a business perspective. So, for example, if you are working with anxiety and depression, you're likely to get far more clients who don't turn up for discovery calls, who don't do the work you ask, who maybe even don't show up for sessions, than if you compare that, if you're working with people who are maybe entrepreneurs who want to take their business to the next level, elite sports people, whatever it is, you're going to find those are people who will turn up, who will do the work, who will be motivated to do things. So again, think about that environment you're going to be working in. How is that for you? Do you want to be working in that every day? Are you aware of the challenges and the opportunities of working in those different marketplaces? So I hope you found this video really, really helpful. And let me just summarize the key points again. Be passionate, because you can't fake that. And if you try to, people will see through it and you won't win business. You won't build a successful business. Make sure your niche is big enough, that there's enough people looking for it. There are plenty of tools out there that can show you how, but make sure also that you can be competitive in your niche. And if that looks hard, you need to think about, how do you micro niche down? And finally, make sure that you choose your niche for the right reasons, that you're going to be interested in working with it, you're going to be successful at it, you're going to enjoy it. So hope you found this useful. Love to get any feedback, any questions, and I look forward to seeing you all really very soon. Thanks now.